Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all.
What do you think about teenagers having sex in Slave Lake?
I think that there are lots, but I don't know that for sure. Just the way people act and where they're hanging out and what they're doing, and even in the hallways you hear some things. I think it's kind of sad, but I think as teachers in this school we do what we can to have interventions when we hear kids talking about it.
Well, I don't know. I see a lot of young people coming here pregnant. And I'm from Whitecourt, and there's not really that many teenage moms there. Do I think that there are teenagers having sex in Slave Lake? Yes. Do I think it's as high as everyone thinks it is? I think statistically it's not. I think everyone thinks that everyone's doing it, and that's half the reason why kids do, because they think everyone else is and they don't want to be left out. When in actuality, most of the statistics show that less than half are.
Stupid. Don't have sex.
Honestly, I think if they use protection and they know the risks, then it could be worthwhile for them. But if people don't understand the risks involved with sex, the STDs, the improper douching, then you could find yourself in a world of trouble. Next question.
Do you think people are more open about their sexuality now more than in the past?
Definitely.
Why?
I don't know, because my grandpa freaks out when I wear a tank top and you can see my bra strap. So that just shows that it wasn't really appropriate then. Yes, definitely. Why? I don't know why it is. I think that maybe a lot of it is just media influences and stuff. Watching, like if you watch MTV now compared to 15 years ago, the differences in what they show on there and stuff, that it's not unusual to see women in very little clothing and stuff like that and talking about sexuality, where it used to be more so in the past. If girls talked about sexuality, they got labeled as sluts. If boys talked about sexuality, then they were the studs of the year. Not that's there still is that, but it's not as bad now. I don't think.
I think that people are more manipulative. I don't necessarily think that it's more openly talked about. Like I still think girls are more embarrassed and quiet and talk with each other, and they're not as free to talk about it. But I also think that we have more manipulative people that are getting people into trouble.
Very much so.
And why?
I think it's mostly due to the media and movies and stuff. They just see it a lot more on TV. And
Yes, because back in the day on the farms and stuff, if you were a girl and you got pregnant, your daddy shipped you off. And it was always a division between males and females, and nobody ever talked about each other's feelings. But now, you see kids at dances and whatnot, shaking their booties and being open, you know, and on TV, it's not as censored. There's a lot more people talking about sex, so yes, it's fairly open.
Do you think most teenagers are having sex under pressure, the influence of alcohol, or just out of curiosity?
I think it's out of curiosity, and I think that the whole influence of alcohol and being out at a party and having friends who are doing it and all of that contributes to that as well.
Thank you.
Influence of alcohol is big in teen sex, I think, and I think that because we live in an area where people have a fair amount of money and start drinking pretty young, that's probably pretty relevant. If curious is probably part of it. I mean, they all play a little small role, hey? Influence of other people, I think it's in your minds. I think it's in the minds of the kids that they think everyone else is doing it.
Influence of alcohol and peer pressure, because you see a bunch of younger girls dating older guys that are experienced, and yeah.
Well, that's a tough one, because as you know, I don't know very much about what they really do on their own time. But I think a lot of teenagers do feel pressured to try sex, and I think that sometimes the pressure when there's alcohol influence is greater, and I think their inhibitions are lower, and so what they would normally do, not under the influence of alcohol, under the influence of alcohol, they do all kinds of things that they would never think of doing sober.
Some younger people have it for, like, they just drink alcohol and think it's an excuse to, like, have sex, but I think that's wrong.
Yeah, but underneath the influence of alcohol, and it's just not right.
Do you think we should have more programs in school teaching us about safe sex?
Yes, I think there should be a cucumber demonstration to show females how to put a condom on, because it is not always up to the guys. And yeah, if you had puppets and stuff, you know, little role playing, it would get cemented in the kids' heads more.
I think the health program is pretty good. I'd like to see, like, they do the baby thing in health class in high school, but I think and no offense, but I think our grade 9s need to have it at an earlier grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Got anything else to say?
I don't think it hurts to have more programs. I don't know what kind of programs you have because it is covered in the curriculum. I know that I go into the schools and talk about it. The biggest thing is to teach parents how to talk to their kids. We've had a couple courses and parents just don't come. We've offered them through adult education. Because if kids felt okay to talk to their parents about it, then all their morals and all their values and everything that go along with rearing and parenting your kids, if you could talk about sexuality the way you talk about math with your parents, it would just be that much easier, hey? If it wasn't such a taboo subject. So, although I think the more programs from, you know, reliable sources is better than less, I think that parents need to be more involved too.
Sex can get you genital herpes, but people still do it.
See, here's the thing. We're both here right now. So sexy. We have to party all night. It's a tap moment.